Spoiler warning, if you don't want parts of Double spoiled, including the ending, don't watch this video. Watch Double first. It's great. Go watch it, I swear. You'll love every part of it. Kamen Rider Double is great. It's one of my favorite seasons of Kamen Rider, and one of my favorite shows of all time. What helps the show most, in my opinion, is the characters. Specifically, Hidori Shotaro, the left half of Double, and our sorta, but not really main character, since he shares the main protagonist slot with Philip. Getting sidetracked. Anyways, what helps the show is Shotaro, who is a different kind of hero. What I mean by that is that he's imperfect. So let's talk about it. To start, it's important that we mention in what ways he's imperfect, and then we explain how these imperfections are actually a good thing from a characterization standpoint. Shotaro is imperfect in three ways: his unfaithfulness to the hard-boiled style, his physical weakness, and his mental weakness. Let's start with the first one. Hard-boiled detectives are cynical characters, people who take a case for the money. They are often anti-heroes, and are people of few words, and are often loners. Hidori Shotaro is none of these. Need examples? Okay then. Shotaro is the least cynical character I've ever seen. He's always going on about not wanting the people of Fudo to cry, and last time I checked, Sam Spade didn't say anything like that in the Maltese Falcon. In the case for the money, nope. He turned down payments for multiple cases because he felt for the clients. Shotaro is obviously not an anti-hero, but this is more because of the fact that it's Kamen Rider, and main characters are often never anti-heroes. Few words. Yeah, he talks a lot. It's actually the last one I stated that I want to talk about the most. Shotaro is not a loner. In fact, he's the opposite. He relies on people for a lot of things. He relies on Philip for lookups. He relies on his informants. He relies on Terui at times to finish the job he started. He even mentions it himself in the last episode. He can't do anything himself. He's just trying his best now that Philip's gone. Spoiler. He is a person who depends on others to help him to be strong. What really makes him a, quote, half-boiled detective is that he's too caring. He's the opposite of a hard-boiled detective. Keep in mind, him being half-boiled isn't a bad thing. His care for the city makes him a very interesting character. It makes him an emotional character, which is 1,000 times better than Tendo, the main character of Kabuto. In fact, let's use Tendo as a great reference point, because he is. Side note, if you guys want a video on Tendo, I'm willing to, because I got a lot to say about him. Anyways, what makes these two different is that Tendo is written as an uncaring jackass, focused on one goal. Shotaro is written to care about people, whereas Tendo only cares about his sisters and almost no one else. Tendo doesn't need anyone to help him. It makes him a boring character because of it. Shotaro, by contrast, does need people, and because of this fact, it makes him a lot more interesting as he can't do everything himself, which is a great, antithesis to the hero archetype. Because he cares, it makes the serious interactions he has with his close friends better to watch, and the sense of conflict becomes heightened. In other words, he feels more real, as opposed to a Mary Sue like Tendo. Shotaro is imperfect in ways other than not understanding the basic concepts of a classic character archetype. He's also physically weak. When Philip first enters the extreme memory, he starts to become more powerful. He starts accidentally overpowering Shotaro whenever they're double, making it too hard for them to transform. Shotaro couldn't handle the immense power increase. However, Terui, Axel, could. Shotaro was too weak to handle how strong Philip had become, although he was able to overcome it. His body also wasn't able to handle the twin maximum drive when he tried to do one on Weather. It torched his body. Having a weaker character as our main character is actually pretty good in my opinion, which is why I like Deno so much too. Let's use Tendo again. As a point of contrast, Tendo is the strongest writer in Kabuto, seemingly just because he's the main character. But the physically strongest writer in Double is Terui, Axel. The second writer is stronger and more powerful than the main writer. Shotaro's physical weaknesses make him feel more human, and characters that feel more human are more fun to root for. Look at the adaptation of The Crow for that as a good example. Their struggles feel real. That's not to say that Shotaro's struggles aren't fantastical. In fact, they're quite fantastical and rely heavily on sci-fi elements to give these struggles meaning. But even still, seeing Shotaro struggle makes it easier for us to root for him. That's story writing 101. Make the hero struggle. Shotaro is more than just physically weak. He's also mentally weak. We learned towards the end of the show about the idea of mental attacks through the old dopant. The powers of the old dopant make people older, and it didn't affect Terui or Philip. But it did affect Shotaro. Not only does this provide an interesting challenge on how they're going to face the current dopant, it also provides some foreshadowing to how, spoiler, Ryubei/Terror will overpower him. Ryubi uses the power of terror, his Dopant form, to make Shotaro overwhelmed with fear. Shotaro's weakness is terror, which, spoiler, he is able to overcome with the help of Philip, provides a great narrative for the endgame of Double, but also, as I said in the last section, makes the character easier to root for. Having Shotaro struggle with unending fear makes it all the more better when he goes to save Philip, since we know there is a battle in his head going on between his fear and his desire to save his partner and best friend. It's just good characterization. So, why did I want to talk about this? Well, first off, Shotaro is a textbook case of, in my opinion, what's great main character characterization, along with Philip, and especially in Kamen Rider, whenever we get some really bad cookie-cutter characters like Tenkuchi Takaru from Ghost, or really bad characters like Tendo from Kabuto. Second, I got to talk about one of my favorite seasons of Kamen Rider, and one of my favorite characters in all of Kamen Rider. And third, just because I wanted to. It sounded fun, and I really wanted to get my ideas out, at least on paper, even if I didn't make a video. I'll see you guys next time when I randomly want to overanalyze Kamen Rider.
Hey guys, I literally just finished editing the video, and I just wanted to say, hey, thanks for watching. This is a first for something like this, and I hope I can do more. But if I can't, that sucks. I'm actually going to try and work on a new script as we're speaking, and other than that, yeah, I'm going to also maybe do some different editing styles on another video and just other projects, as well as the fact I'm also going to start editing for another person's channel for like Twitch highlights and stuff. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.